and we talk about clowns with their balloons and their inflatables, and it's a clown world with the CIA. And look, there's a war. Isn't there a war? Can't you hear it? I mean, we put a balloon tank out there. Don't you want to? Aren't you scared? So if you start seeing the world as this big boogeyman, then you see like, well, these are all stories, and just because we got a 5-second clip of like a woman getting run over by a horse, all of us are like, oh my God, that woman got ran over by a horse. Everything I thought was true.
Sure, I've seen a lot more than that.
Have you?
Yeah.
You got the young.
It's getting bad now. Like as of yesterday, I believe they started really making their moves. They're really trying to arrest everyone. And now they're freezing all the bank accounts.
This is all the more reason to just get on sailboats and not even fucking participate in the fucking bullshit. Because you know what? I don't want that world back. I don't care to have my guy in charge to vote for the things that I want anymore. I'm like, you can have it.
But here's the thing.
You can have it.
If the truckers fail.
Yeah, it's all yours. You own it.
Is this not realistically true? If the truckers fail, movements like ours or just being sailboat eventually won't be able to exist. Like if they keep pushing what they're pushing in Canada,
there ain't nobody stopping our sailboat, and this is the whole idea.
If they keep pushing what they're pushing in Canada, in 40 years, you're not gonna be able to take a goddamn sailboat to Florida.
Dude,
this is what they're doing.
My point is, in the bigger thing of like your own reality. In other words, if you hold the reality of I'm in a sailboat, I am in a sailboat, and I am doing these things regardless, and I'm no longer paying attention to these other people, and my money's not in the bank, and I've done something else. I've really literally detached myself from this. It's not going to keep coming. It's going to disappear because you don't participate in that reality anymore. The only thing that makes it real is your witness and participation. If you remove your attention away from these things.
That's level deep. I don't know. I hope that's true. But you really think like if they're fucking locking down the world and releasing viruses and keeping everyone,
they can't even keep Ottawa together. I mean, they're gonna come like the fucking the Virgin Islands that you can only get to by sailboat and say like, "Hey, let me see your vaccine pass." I mean, these people don't have that kind of salt.
Won't that?
They don't. Hey, that Scott Evans guy's having too much fun down there in the Turks and Caicos.
Easy with your last name.
I don't have these kind of problems. Like you, Danny.
I don't know. I got a feeling that what the truckers are doing is very important, I think. I think it really is important. And I think that if they win, which to me winning would just be Trudeau in any way backing down.
But what is win to most of these people? Most of these people are like, oh, we win and we have our guys in charge in Parliament, and then they put the right stickers on all the windows. That ship is sailed.
But they don't want the kids wearing masks in schools. Like that would be
it doesn't matter. The point is the diagrams of the world that this is like the guidelines, the sidelines of the game that this world is played in now has been set by an outside force that you have to participate in. You want to go outside those guidelines. Be like, I don't want my man in DC giving me my freedoms because DC's not in charge of my freedoms. I do the fuck what I want to do. And I hold that energy and no one's fucking with me. Right. I walk around here in fucking Baltimore and do whatever the fuck I want. I don't think about all this other shit. And I'm not like, are they going to ask me for my mask at 7-Eleven? And what if they do? I mean, I'm not engaged in that kind of discourse.
Energy is what gets you places. And Ben has it too, though. He might not. Ben acts like doesn't act anything. Ben is a little insecure about how good he is about this, but you do the same thing. Remember the story you told us a couple of episodes ago when you were on the airplane and for like the fucking
the sacred breathing.
You just removed
the sacred breathing,
and you were like, and you just like you really committed to it, and they didn't fuck with you.
Well, but effectively, what that was me buying my own bullshit because I really truly acted it out and was like breathing it, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Well, if I'm going to tell these people and show these people that I am sacredly breathing to the point where I want to project the energy of leave me the fuck alone. Yeah. I sure should have to believe it myself.
Exactly.
And that's just what we're talking about. This is what all is mental.
You have to have the balls.
You have to create your own reality. That is what Aquarius is. So notwithstanding, like if you live in a place of like they're gonna close off the whole world. If this domino falls, then my lobster fishing and my sailboat is gonna get fucked up.
They're literally doing that.
But those are clown shows too.
But still, if you live there,
this is
not a clown show if you live there.
Well, get this. Okay, I'm going to drop a big clown show thing. Okay, the invasion of Normandy, okay, and we think about what a clown show is, and we think, like, okay, it's all smoke and mirrors and people saying something. So, surprisingly enough, the biggest invasion ever lost all radio communications the day of the invasion, except for these people over here, this 82nd kind of airborne division of radio people who did like inflatables. I talk about the clown show. They do inflatables in World War II where they make like tanks.
Have you ever seen that before?
And they're like, we can make people believe with speakers and balloons that there are 30,000 people over here where there's only 16. And so the biggest thing was all these radio communications died, and all these people that were in charge of these shenanigans, these clown people who were, this is what their job was, to be like the armies that weren't.
Inflating.
They were like, this is what's going on in Normandy. They're the one that reported Normandy.
Oh, no.
So the people who did the clown brigades of the inflatables to like fool the other people, that we got 30,000 people, all these other radio things broke, and the only people that could record the authenticity of D-Day was this group of people.
No way.
So you can see that it's a frequency of war. There was even things called the Battle of the Kegs, where you brought all these people over here in the red and brought all these people over there in the blue, and they hate each other, and you ginned them up with propaganda, and they're sitting on the other sides of the river, and you float a bunch of gunpowder in caskets, and you shoot them in the middle of the river. It's just floating down between these two organized armies that you brought there with your propaganda. You're like, everything blows up, makes all these explosions. Those motherfuckers are trying to kill you. Oh, those motherfuckers are trying to kill us. And so they go off, and that's what friendly fire is. That's all the people going off on like their own little tangents because they've hit the frequency of war. They've been led into the frequency of war, and now they're like, oh my God, I hear the explosions going off, and oh my God, we're here for a reason, so this must be really it. And then that captures their belief system.
A false flag situation?
That's what a false flag is, and they've been going on for a long
war, I like that.
They've been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Long
a great
time.
way to control people.
We are super live right now, but something.
David Icke calls it problem, reaction, solution.
It's a high deal, but then you start seeing it as, okay, well, the bigger I'm probably going to get too deep is what are these people here for? What are they really doing? And it's like, well, I think they are trying to make human beings' consciousness grow, and
but not intentionally.
Well,
of shit.
How do you make people do it? It's like whether this is a drill. It's like a lot of these false flags, they correspond to like drills, right? Like Sandy Hook and all these places, they had all these drills of all these people. At the same time, they had this like thing.
Careful with Sandy Hook right now.
That's all going to be picked up on.
We are live right now on YouTube, and we know that
we're live on YouTube.
Was a mass situation. That was a terrible situation.
But there were also a lot of drills going on at the same time.
You can still state facts about it, yeah.
There were a lot of drills going on, and
the only things you can't talk about are the election.
Coincidentally, there's a lot of drills, like real official drills, documented drills that go on at exactly the same time to bring all of these forces. Like, in other words, you got to have the FBI show up. You got to have these people show up. These drills put all these people on the ground at the exact same time that these events happen. Okay, so you start seeing, and I say that from the sense of the frequency of war, if you set the drills on what the false flag is, but at its core, what does it really mean in terms of, well, if I had like, I'm carrying a nuclear bomb, I got to be on my game. I can't drop this nuclear bomb. It constricts you inside. It like makes you like, I can't fuck up. In other words, that makes you want to be a better person because you think you have like extra responsibility. So if you put someone in a foxhole or you put someone in a mental condition that they think like, I can't fuck up, like Scott, you're holding a nuke and you got to get it to like Brooklyn by Tuesday. You're like, okay. I got to like get this to Brooklyn.
Put you under an immense deal of pressure.
Yeah, but in a way, it makes you step up. It makes
losing people, I think. Are you keeping up with him at all?
Yeah,
I'm
big time.
I'm so, guys, treat me differently. Like I'm a little bit slower, And I think it's not going to only help you two because you guys are fucking.
I don't even
You're
know
not
where I'm
slower.
going.
You're just programmed enough, just enough, and you're pretty radicalized. But you're programmed enough that when you hear Sandy Hook, you go to a place in your head that you can't keep going.
Untrue. I
was just trying to say about the
No,
human
you
consciousness and
guys,
conditioning, and
I'm sorry.
I'll switch it over here and wrap it up here real quick, just because it's like, so the point of that is we are better people when we think there's more responsibility of us. So if these gardeners with this frequency of war, nothing is more like, I got to have my shit together, then I'm going to die if I don't get my shit right. So in other words, if they can put you in a position of like, dude, no fucking around now, we're in war, then that that makes you constrict and like be like more.
I don't
If
know
these
quite
people
how
are
it
doing
evolved
all
to
these
get
false
here.
flags, they are making people in a way stand in their best forms.
I'm not keeping up with what we're talking about. Are we talking about Sandy Hook or are we
No.
talking about the Canadian truck?
We're talking about the reason for the false flags, what they're there
In
for,
general,
what they generally
and how
do.
you can hypnotize a group of people.
For a reason, because obviously, what are they doing it for? For control? Because obviously, the shit is happening. They're doing these things
Everywhere, it seems.
Like
Right.
the reason people were so like, oh damn, this Sandy Hook thing. The reason people got in so much trouble for saying that it was a false flag is because there were so many.
It's no different than making someone cry at the movies.
There were so many.
They're like, oh my god, I really felt that.
Yeah.
But you take it to like the 10th degree, and you're like, you're in a war, and if you don't have your shit together, that guy's going to blow you away. You're going to be like, well, fucking A, I'm going to get my shit right. And that constriction of a human being, okay, makes them stand into a different energy, and it gets them to blossom. So in a way, all of these clown shows, all these false flags are in a way to keep making the human being be its best self.
But that's only based on God and the universe and the nature of reality, because the people who are doing these things are fucking horrible people.
They could be.
They have to be.
I like to see.
There's no way they're like thinking we're gonna make a Scotty Evans type character become more evolved when he realizes that we've lied to him.
But the paths are very narrow, and you realize it's a filtration process, and not everyone's going to get through. Maybe only 1%. It's like a different 1%.
They're the 1%, in my opinion, that they don't worry about because they have so many people controlled that they're like, we'll let Scotty get away with it.
But that's the point. It's got to be a narrow path. They even say this in biblical stuff, like what's the narrow path? So if it was for everybody, so what they're saying is not everybody's going to bloom. They're going to be fooled by the illusions.
Who's saying that?
Most people are going to be fooled by it.
In other words,
Like the government.
the overall God's plan. God's
the
plan.
Bible's saying there's a narrow path, right?
The only way you can get there is to see through these illusions. So when you see it from the context you're talking about in terms of what's going on, well, not everyone's going to make it. Very few are going to make it. So if you set this kind of fake clown show reality of false flags and illusions for people to invest and say like, oh, well, that's real. Oh, well, that's real. And then that becomes their life. People are like, no, that's boogeyman stuff. That's bullshit. And then they go,
it's a division.
It's a division. And those people go down a different path because they're not affected by the noise, by the static that's created by these frequencies that are meant to draw people in. Like someone said something that was really profound to me about, okay, there's war, and we're talking about the frequency of war. So it's like, okay, well, what's going to draw the people? So what do we need to bring in if we're attracting honeybees to the frequency of war? Who are those people? Well, the first thing is they're easily fooled. In other words, we just blew up a bunch of like caskets in the middle of a river, and just because you were camped over there, you were going to go kill those other people because these explosions hit the frequency of war and made you think that those people were firing on you and you got to kill them. So they're easily fooled. The second thing is they can really rationalize their decisions well. In other words, oh yeah, I definitely did the right
for public safety. Right?
And then the third thing is they don't have a problem killing people. So in other words, the frequency of war is attracting those three levels of consciousness. And what are they doing? They're getting fucking edited out. They're being brought to that frequency of war, and they're dying in the war by participating in the false reality. And all they're doing is taking themselves out because that doesn't need to be here on this realm. The gardener is saying, who do we need to get rid of? Well, we need to get rid of the people that are easily fooled, that rationalize their decisions like a motherfucker, and are willing to kill people. Well, how do we get rid of those people?
War.
Well, we put a frequency of war out there.
The Lusitania.
You know, and all those people, all those consciousnesses, all those people born under whatever sign, they'll sign up for that, and they'll be like, hey, yeah. And they'll just take themselves out of the garden. And you start seeing this as and this is really deep level shit, but it's like that's the only other way I can see it without giving like the negative Southern thing, like someone's gonna ruin my.
You can moderate. I'm following it.
I can't, and I think I represent a more common public. You're telling me that there's a lot of false flags.
These are like the hidden. This is going to be like the radicalized, like hidden.
It's funny because we already know now that like World War I was based on a lie. You know, like Vietnam.
But when you start thinking,
based on lies,
so the next question is why? So I get to the point why are these false flags happening? Why are they lying about World War I? Why are they making this shit up to have people kill each other? Why are they doing these things? Well, one side is
very important.
Well, yes, exactly. So one side is, like Ben says, these are terrible people. They're Satanists. They're Luciferians. Take it wherever you want. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that want to describe this, but there still has to be a why. Well, I'm saying if this is a garden of human consciousness and you are trying to like develop the best human beings of the purest soul and the purest heart, you need to rid yourself of these other type of people that are attracted, these maws that are attracted to these lights.
See, to me, what he's saying is he's talking more about God's plan. He's talking about God's plan. He's saying if Earth in this realm is about like pruning and making only the greatest flowers blossom in the end, things like war are necessary to get rid of the people who are gullible, who are stupid, who are murderous.
It becomes less nefarious.
But then where it becomes, if you bring it back down to a regular ass world, we're talking about, we know that the people who incite these wars are using false flags to get people involved.
But I see them as carnival barkers.
With God somehow?
Well,
because God is in control of everything.
But then you see like Freemasons and where they come from. It's like these people, like they worship a larger doctrine. And they really think they're putting on like a kind of a show, and it's a very important show that they're putting on. So you start seeing people like Trump or all these things like Alex Jones. They're all carnival barkers.
Of whom
they're all but they're all carnival barkers at their own stages in this level of growth of the human consciousness. In other words, they all have their part to play because everyone wants to hear their notes, and they're like a moth to a light. Whether it's Trump or anti-Trump, they're being attracted to a vibration and a frequency that's going to get them, like that's going to become people's reality. And it's like that's where we're trying to transcend this stuff in terms of realizing that that's the way the world is. All we've got to do is just get on our sailboats and have a good time.
Yeah. But is there a risk there that if all we do is get on our sailboats and have a good time, that our grandchildren will live in a fucking dictatorship?
Well, they won't live in a dictatorship unless I need my tax payment. I need my police mitosis, and you split. You are literally saying that world does not apply to me anymore.
Are those the people they're afraid of? Or because they're not manipulative?
Yeah, there's a word somewhere.
Manipulated
I don't know what it is
easily, or are they? Because at one point you were saying not going to appeal.
This is really like purple belt, black belt dojo stuff.
You're black belting us, and many of us are yellow belts and orange belts.
When they start at white and they go up,
Yeah. And if you don't mind, I think I could probably be the one that asks the simple questions.
I like this.
The general public might be able to get on board, because you guys are fucking up here, and I'm like,
I'm here.
How do we
Scotty's
get that
fucking.
Yeah, Scotty, you're talking frequency.
He's older than us. He's been on this path longer.
We want to know.
Well, I'm just starting to see the way this realm works. I'm starting to really see the mechanics and the energy of the way this realm works. And I think people, look, I'm saying shit that's like really far out there. And it might not be very
that way.
Well, but there's also another energy coming in. This is what people call Aquarius. We're going to define it by these kinds of things. There's another electricity coming in. There's another energy coming in where people are waking up. Like, why are people waking up? Well, what is waking up? Well, waking up means you're hearing a different frequency. You have a different electricity that you're responding to. So where do you take that? Because you're coming from a place where your world is this. This is your reality. There are governments. There are wars. What do you mean you're not scared of COVID? What do you mean you don't think the Russians are going to kill us? What do you mean? It's like, so you start seeing it as like little Atari cartridges, a million different cartridges that you can play on a video game. And everyone just decides to play a different video game depending on their interest. Like, oh yeah, I'm playing the fucking Russians going to get us video game. And that's going to be their reality.
Yeah.
That's going to be their reality. And they'll send out postcards and they'll be like, talking to their parents going like, Mom and Dad, do you think the Russians are going to get us today? So if you start seeing reality in terms of the clown show, the CIA, all these people, is to insert reality into people's minds like video games that they can play. I'm playing the COVID. I'm playing the Donald Trump. I'm playing the fucking Russia. In other words, there's an unlimited amount of, but they're all games. And you have to become a game master. You have to transcend all of that, start creating your own reality, get on your own sailboat, say that reality does not apply to me. I am going to let it all go and just let, people want to claim that that's great. And if I want to come in there and argue a point, I will, but that's not my world. I'm not attached to it. I don't give it my attention. I don't give it my witness.
Did you get a taste of this yet? So good. You tried it?
All right, let's.
I really,
I get. I really,
but you can tell I've been living in the woods for the past 3 weeks.
But I really,
because I'm really coming, I'm coming out of the tree house.
I love it. It sounds fucking.
It's been the point
I'm
from
like,
the beginning.
what the fuck?
Like I
You
explained,
guys are so funny
the
because
way that
on
I
Friday
see
you're like,
Radicalized
we missed
podcast-
your energy, Scotty. We
I
missed
missed
it.
it like crazy.
No, I know, but
It
I've
was
been in
something
the
I said. We were
woods.
talking
But I've
about
been in the
Oprah.
woods, man. I've been in the woods, and I'm coming out going like, try these mushrooms. Try these mushrooms.
Without you, we were basically like watching an episode of The View when you weren't here. We were like, Whoopi.
I don't know if we were watching the episode of you.
No, it's like you and me were you were Joy Behar and I was Whoopi Goldberg without him.
Yeah.
Now when he's here, all of a sudden it's the radicalized
He
thing.
does take us to the next level, but can somebody, doesn't have to be me.
I'm receding. I know that.
If somebody can sort of like remind the audience or
Well, I
me,
think they know.
Me. Not even
I'm happy
audience.
to remind you.
If
But you have to understand a lot of people
but
too
you
are
have
more
to
far
allow
out
me
than
to
you.
ask questions.
Yeah,
So
we
you
love
guys
the
can
questions.
specifically answer the
We
questions.
love the questions
I'm
I'm trying to help you right now.
We're gonna
Frequencies of
shift back.
flags,
of war.
which is very, very hot topic right now. But like, okay, for example, in Canada, people are rising against a mandate.
And we think it's natural. Well, I think it is natural. It feels
Yeah.
natural to me.
So, in other words, you don't think it was manipulated by a false
Yeah,
flag?
and this is why I got
No,
really
no.
off topic with the clown show, and you can edit this whole
We
30
love
minutes
your
out.
off-topic.
But
It's
now
almost
we're
like-
going to
Guess
circle
what?
back.
Ben does the editing. He will never fuck
Exactly,
with
beautiful.
anything
So
you say.
now we're coming
So
back.
No matter what.
So now we're coming back to no. This
you
is
understand
not.
that no matter what, he's going to keep you.
But this is not a false
special
flag. This
attraction
is not
for
a
you.
false flag. This is real. These are people. Like I said, they're not getting paid to be there. Like just doing my job. I'm going to break your neck and throw you in jail because I'm just doing my job.
Down.
It's like no. These people are like, hey, what do you want to do on
Ben's
Sunday?
pushing my son. Ben's abusing my son right now.
Your son's abusing me.
Just do this. Do this to his neck.
No, I don't reward.
Why
that
does he
sort of
like
thing.
you like this? Do you
I
have
don't know.
sausage
Baby,
in your
He's
pockets?
known me since I was
Ben,
a
all
kid,
he has
since
to
he
do
was
is
a kid.
massage his neck for a second and say, "I love you."
You see that?
I love you and I want what's best for you.
He has trouble with that. He's got a baby and a wife over there, you know. So it's
He's
like,
so aggressive.
Oh, I'm good with babies. I'm not good with Australian shepherds.
all
They're
right.
the
So we
fucking
think,
worst.
so we think the organic movement is happening in Canada.
Heart's broken. I hate Aussies.
He loves his dog.
I hate Aussies.
Like 10,000 people who follow you love Aussies. And
I think we went
How
from
in the world
7
could you?
followers to 4.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
more like
too.
it.
So, guys,
It's
please,
still a 30% cut or 40% cut.
Let me
It's
ask you-
significant.
let me ask you more questions. That's it.
Okay, ask us some questions.
All right, there is something happening right now in Canada. Believe it or not everybody's aware of it. It came out 2 weeks ago, one of these hyper fucking invested guys, and I cussed too much. I was listening with my son and I cussed too much. So I'm not cussing anymore.
So but you were listening. So you were invested. You were like a frequency
Trying
of
to
war.
find-
You were like
trying
you were like those motherfuckers. So they sent out a call, like a bird call, like, boo, 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 boo. And you were like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, motherfucker. You were like right back
I
in.
had a podcast on with my son in the car, and I go, I'm cussing too much. And I was like, next time I do this, I can't cuss so much. So there, right now, so that's what I'm just checking myself.
So it got you. In other words, it got in your britches. You got you.
I don't want to teach my 9-year-old that it's
well,
okay
no,
to say the F
but
word.
this, were they cussing, or was it you who was cussing?
No, it was me on a podcast with you guys. Fuck this! I can't fucking believe them. And
Teachers, kids, fucking.
my son was listening, and I said, I can't listen to my own podcast. Next time we do one, I'm not going to cuss so much. And so that's why I'm.
Maybe we can get your son in as an editor, who can like be
I don't
like.
think he needs to be an editor right now.
Well, it's a way to deal with the cussing.
So real quick,
He's too young.
You know, what better way for a boy to learn about cussing than being a cussing editor on his dad's
honestly,
podcast?
that's really fucking cool.
you know, like, son, did I cuss? And he's like, yeah, I took that out for you, Dad. I took
just
that
want
out.
to go
for you.
down to a couple things to ask you guys about. So there is an uprising right now in Canada of truckers. They're saying
An uprising.
we don't this is fucking insanity. There's no reason my wife looks so beautiful. She took a picture. Let me just give her a heart. I didn't mean to open Instagram. It's just where I post.
Those are the kind of people those truckers are too. They're sending like sweetheart pictures to their wives. These are real people.
Oh, interesting. So that
In other words, they're not insurrectionists. They're not like, you know.
Don't you love to use the term insurrection again after we saw it on
Well,
January?
we can
6th?
start seeing the programming now of one now because it's all getting mixed into the stew like really fast, like a bad chef. They're like, so they do all these program events like 1/6 and stuff like this, just so when this comes, they can be like, well, it's another 1/6.
Yeah.
It's another 1/6. And everyone's like, no, it's not another 1/6. So they're getting
Even though
caught up.
1/6 wasn't jack shit.
Well, this was interesting. All right, so
Everything okay?
Pretty good.
pretty popular. I guess you'd call him a journalist. I'm not going to name names, but one that I'll
You're
show
dope
you.
as fuck, man. You look like Kid Rock and shit to me. I'm getting like a
Yeah.
really like heavy,
Yeah.
especially that you're taking control of this and saying like,
And I don't
Okay,
want to take
children.
control.
Kid Rock's the man.
no, I want you to take control. You need to take control
Okay.
because I like what I'm seeing right now. I'm actually giving deference to it. And that's my hope. That's what I'm expressing is it's like, okay, children, stop going off
No,
the
it's
rails.
wonderful stuff.
Kid Rock
It's
is
just-
here.
He's like, well, you guys are out there in lollipop land. Let me take you
Right,
back
right,
to
yeah.
the Twitter sphere.
All right, so tell me what to do, Kid Rock.
Well, just want to point out something pretty interesting about, and you guys know this, everybody knows this already, that CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, Bloomberg Network.
All the best.
Okay, so we're talking about some of the leftist networks in the past 2 weeks combined have gave 2 minutes to the truckers.
Yeah, amazing.
That is so manipulative to me. It's insane.
Well, it's showing you where the power is being transferred because you're talking about a larger energetic transfer. So people know what is going on with the truckers, regardless of how much the mainstream media.
Do they?
I think they do.
Social media is taking over. with
Yeah, I
this.
mean, I think there's a
You
new.
have family. Your dad knows about
I
truckers?
think. Well, I've never asked him, but my feeling is.
Call him right now and say, give him a quick call, check in with dad, see if he knows.
that'd be
Really?
actually really good.
Give him a call right now.
My
be
dad's
amazing.
probably asleep
You
because he had
told me
knee
no,
surgery.
he's not. It's 8:30. It's
No,
7
I know
o'clock.
my dad is asleep.
It's 7:50. He's not.
If
sleeping.
he's
My
sleep-
dad goes to sleep at 4 now because of the knee surgery. So I'm
Oh.
telling you honestly.
Well,
but,
just-
ask your mother.
but my mother, I can ask.
Can you call your
Yes.
mom and
this mic.
I hope it's not a Howard Stern moment.
No,
He's
this,
sure
well, nobody
sold
does
out.
this kind of shit. He calls people without like telling them they're calling. Shh.
Put it on speaker.
My speaker's not very good though. She won't
Keep
be
it
able to
right
hear me
here.
very well.
Keep it right here. Or right to Ben's.
Oh, that's great. We're making the call to our millionaire 140 IQ listeners. We're making the call.
All the way.
Is it all the way up?
How's like? I got a shitty phone, guys.
It's an iPhone.
Hi, you've reached Robert and Co.
Fuck.
Please leave a message and we'll call
Well, there we
you
go.
back as
Can
soon as we
you
are
leave
available.
that message?
Well,
That's-
Phone a fucking friend.
Sometimes these things don't work out like that.
Mom, I knew you wouldn't let me down. And I know I make the special like vibration on your phone that you know it's me calling. Can you hear me?
Scott?
Yeah, Mom, I've got you on speakerphone. Can you hear me?
Oh, no.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom, I got you on speakerphone. Can you hear me? Okay, and I'm going to now I'm going to put you back on. Can you hear me still? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Turn this TV down.
I have a very quick question. I love you, Mama. I'm always going to say I love you, but I have a quick question for you. You pay attention, and we talk about like distraction and what's going on in your own little world down there. But have you heard anything about the Canadian truckers, like in Ottawa, Canada, kind of like doing a little bit of like convoy thing in like Canada? Have you heard about that?
Yes, I've watched it on TV. Some of it, yeah.
So you've heard about it. So it's out there. So what do you think about that stuff? That's a pretty interesting thing going on.
Okay, I didn't hear that last part. On what I think about what?
The truckers. What do you think about the truckers?
I think the truckers are fine. And if I were a trucker, I wouldn't drive, and they wouldn't get anything up there for a long time from me.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. And look, I've got
Yes.
Mom. I love you very much. I got a terrible phone, and I'm trying to work with you between speaker phones and stuff like that. But you answered a very important question for me. I'm here with I told you about my podcast buddies and everything like that, and they weren't sure
Hi, Mom.
if people
Hello.
were really
We love
hearing.
you, Mama. Thank you, Mom, for answering.
That's Danny. He owns the sailboat next to me, and so you were kind of like the tiebreaker on if people at large knew what was going on up in Canada. And I'm like, well, let's just see if my mom. And
Does she remember where she heard it from? Like, what new was she on Fox or?
it's Fox.
Okay. Does she like Tucker Carlson? Does she watch Tucker?
That's what
You
it
gotta
is.
like
Oh,
Tucker.
okay, you gotta love Tucker.
like
Okay.
Tucker.
God, he's saving.
You know the only person who doesn't like Tucker?
No, it's great,
AOC.
Mom. So anyway, you're in the middle of a live podcast. I love you very much. I'm sorry my phone sucks, but I'm throwing my phone in the river
AOC
end of
crazy
next
about
year because I'm walking away from this entire clown show. So, but you
Tell her we'll see her in Florida in June.
we're going to see you in Florida in June, and I'm on the boat right now that I'm going to park off of Peanut Isle. Okay, remember I told you about that dream years ago? Well, I am in the boat now that is actually going to be parked offside in Peanut Isle, and we're going to be doing that.
Estino. Oh, that was amazing.
What's that, Mom?
Your friends, do they think it's all wrong? I think the truckers are fine.
Yeah, my mom.
And they kept us all living for a long time, bringing stuff back and forth.
Yes,
And they're
Mama.
not appreciated.
And they should be able to stop, right? And stop.
Yeah,
and
so
protest.
we're all pro trucker here, Mom. We're putting off the vibration of pro trucker.
That was awesome.
Well, I'm sorry, it's my speakerphone, Mom. We're putting out the vibration of pro trucker here. So I love you very much. Yeah, thanks, Mom. I love you. Bye.
Well, we all love our mothers here.
Well, there you go.
That
So
was
so there you
awesome.
go. So it's out in like Tucker Carlson's doing it. So again, they're definitely putting it out there enough for people to get it.
That was so awesome.
It looks like we might.
expect her to.
There's rumor we might be having an American convoy headed to DC. That's
It's
what they're
happening
saying.
right now.
Is it
Guys,
really?
I have to actually.
Actually,
help with the main
James-
camera. Do we have a backup or no?
Why do you have to?
It says critically low battery, 10%.
Can you charge it?
It should be as we speak. I don't
Do we want to take a break?
Is it not plugged in all the way?
Oh fuck! If it's not plugged in all the way, bro.
You do have a lot of that negative
Bro,
of
that's
Southern
not
accent.
the red one.
You're gonna get all this right,
No,
Danny.
we're gonna be.
How you doing over there, Sarah?
Huh?
You doing good?
My wife is.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the seat is very hot.
I can't wait.
Really hot now, right?
I can't wait to
But
sleep
it's the
on
seat,
Laura
it's
Blue.
the seat.
I want you guys to be
We
so
would
fucking
never had a
comfortable.
problem.
I want you to snuggle with your wife like you've never
Right here,
snuggled
right?
with her before.
See,
You know, check on her.
I'm trying. She's gonna go crazy.
No, just say we're getting ready to wrap up here.
Yeah.
We'll be done. We'll be done by 9 o'clock. It's only 8. It kind of like shows her that she's being silly because when you say we'll be done by 9 o'clock, you're like, that's not late. That's not late.
I'm gonna go over there and try to make peace
Can you hold that energy?
because
Can
of you.
Right.
Because of you.
Well, start making the bed right and do
I'm
everything
gonna
you
make her
need.
a drink and carry it over.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's what was wrong. The wrong plug was plugged into it. So that was.
But I thought-
He's going to go over there and say hi to
I'm not
like
gonna say he
Victoria.
fucked up. Oh, he's gonna say hi to Victoria.
Yeah, we're managing a
You're
lot of
saying I
things
fucked
here.
it up.
I'm saying that it wouldn't. Have
And
been
then
that
look,
low.
I went off the
What did I do?
rails. We'll like kind of start over when we come back. I went off the rails a little bit. Let's go, and Danny, we'll go back to where we talked
If
about
you
with
guys
Danny.
don't take offense.
Okay.
They're the.
I heard you
Look
say
how
it's a
similar. Look,
yeah,
that one
I
has
heard
a
you said that. I was
little
like, what
orange
the fuck is he
inside.
talking about? Yeah.
I made the mistake. Same mistake forever.
Can you hand me the ginger ale, brother?
Okay.
Can you hand me the ginger
I'm
ale?
gonna take her a drink. That will also keep everything calm.
All right, take her ass a drink, Scotty. You're doing amazing. When I'm trying to bring you back, it's because not everybody's on your level. You got to know that. You guys are fucking way up here. I'm like, tell me about more specific things. So I love.
So we're
you
going to
all.
start back over. We're going to do it exactly your way.
Perfect, brother.
And because I got all out of my system.
You have ice in your.
I did. I got it all out of my
Scott, do
system.
you have any ice in your?
And the
place?
moment with my mother was funny.
It was very good. Do you have any ice in your place, Scotty?
In my freezer. In my
Awesome,
freezer.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, you can get everything. There's cups up top. I mean, all you got to do is take booze and mixers because everything
Will
else
you
is.
pour like a 2-second pour?
I knew I should have got
1
two handles.
Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Perfect.
We should be okay, but
She's a lightweight. This will make her happy.
Go romance your fucking wife, brother.
I'll romance her a bit.
Put that energy on.
guys, really nurse these next couple because we're crushing this handle.
I won't drink
You're not
anymore. I
fucking-
won't drink
No, no,
anymore.
Continue to drink, but just nurse it.
No, I'm seriously. I'm almost done because
I'm done. I am
I'm
done.
in a good spot.
I do need the ginger ale
I
though.
think we'll be fine. It's just leave a little bit.
I'm in a good spot alcoholically. It's true.
All right. Well, while you do that, I'm gonna turn off our Facebook Live.
We're Facebook Live.
Yes. I'm sorry. Fucking.
Oh my God.
YouTube Live.
I totally fucking like dropped my pants when I shouldn't have been dropping my pants.